himself an urban anthropologist, chronicling decades of change in his beloved neighborhood. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, CBS 2's Jim Williams introduces us to Chicago native Roman Villarreal, who is building community through his art.
Well, basically, this neighborhood, I kid around with people, we almost made it to middle class.
Artist Roman Villarreal was born in the South Chicago neighborhood and has lived here ever since for 72 years. It runs deep in his soul, and its history is at the root of his work.
This was a steel town. This is a neighborhood where basically everybody lived around the steel mills.
And everyone thought it would stay that way.
That was everybody's dream, even myself. Work in the mill, do your 30 years, retire.
But in the early 1990s, everything changed in a heartbeat. U.S. Steel shut down its South Works plant.
It was so fast, nobody even knew what was going to happen. You went to work that day, and next thing you know, it was locked. You were locked out. That's why this neighborhood was hit so hard. It was a struggle how to survive. And it wasn't pretty. Drugs, depression, alcoholism, divorces, all the above.
But not for Roman. Instead, it was his chance to finally do not do what he expected to do, but what he was meant to do: create art.
It was a gift. I had the gift of shaping, my mother said, since I was a little guy.
Some of his first efforts were what he calls guerrilla art, done quietly, anonymously, in public places, like the Mermaid, a lofty sculpture at 48th Street and the Lake. If you live in Hyde Park, you probably know it. What virtually no one knew for decades is who created it. Finally, in 2001, Roman's daughter saw a newspaper article on the secretive sculpture and told the world it was her dad and 3 friends. Suddenly, Roman found himself in the national spotlight, even the star of an article in People magazine. Today, Roman Villarreal, South Chicago Legacies, is featured here at Intuit, the Center for Intuitive and Outsider Art in Chicago's River West neighborhood.
This art comes from a place of lived experience. In Roman's exhibit, you can see his response to his youthful experiences, his response to what happened in his community when the steel mill shut down.
There's urban tragedy.
It's a mother and 2 sons who were killed in the early violence here in this neighborhood. I've already lost 5 family members to gang violence. The youngest one was 18.
But there's also the Rainbow Lounge, stepping back in time to a neighborhood spot with live music and dancing. Brothers looks back at Roman and his buddies in younger, more carefree days, and hanging out on the porch remembers a simpler, safer time.
In the 60s, you could walk from one end of South Chicago to the other, and people were outside. The kids were playing hide and seek, release, skipping rope.
Kids are one of Roman's great loves. He and his wife Maria have 14 great-grandchildren. He says the most powerful images he paints are of men with children.
There was never enough artwork that I seen growing up or my studies that showed men caring for their children in the same manner as women. The most beautiful thing in the world is hold an infant.
Art is the new steel for him. Art is the way to bring life and hope and community, family life back to his community.
Roman says it's more important than ever.
There has to be some kind of solution to what's going on there because there's too much, I don't like using the word violence because there's too many people that are just angry. I just hope that there's some way that we could live in some kind of harmony. I won't say peace, just harmony.
That was our Jim Williams reporting. Roman Villarreal, South Chicago Legacies, runs through January 8th at Intuit, the Center for Intuitive and Outside Art at 756 North Milwaukee Avenue. For hours and more information, log on to www.art.org.